Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. Today, I'm just going to do a quick video to talk about all the narcissists that you'll find on a dating website. Like I said in my last video about catfish, we're in a new time in 2020 where a lot of people are on lockdown, and if you're single, a great or maybe not so great way to meet people is online dating. Don't judge it because, quite frankly, you're not going to meet your soulmate in the living room or your hallway. Maybe you will at the grocery store when you're fully masked. I don't know. It's possible. But, quite frankly, we're trapped in our houses for the most part, and so there's just an uptick and an increase in people on dating sites. It's just a matter of fact, right? I am a survivor of narcissistic abuse. I am ready to get back in the dating scene. I do run into my share of narcissists, not online, but this is just a whole new breeding ground of them. Quite frankly, I do want to preface this by saying that narcissism is on a spectrum. You could actually have narcissistic traits and not actually have narcissistic personality disorder, or you could be a full-blown narcissist. I mean, there's a spectrum here. But one thing I do know is it's one of the most underdiagnosed things ever, because narcissists don't go to therapists. They think there's something wrong with them. It's the one disorder where their victims are the ones going to therapists, not the narcissists. So the statistics are really low on narcissists. I'd say probably half of society has some level of narcissism. Now there is don't get me wrong, there is some kind of healthy narcissism, right? I mean, you don't want to have low self-esteem, and there's things that can be healthy, but again, it exists on a spectrum. So what I want to talk about on this channel is, how to identify the unhealthy narcissism, whether it be narcissistic traits or a full-blown narcissistic personality disorder. The one thing for sure is you're going to run into them on a dating website, on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not really into Snapchat, but probably run into them there. Anywhere they can have a platform. The reason is because they have a never-ending fuel supply online. They can go fishing, like boom. I mean, it's just an endless world of opportunities, right? It's a lot harder to just go to the park and get your fuel supply. You can go online and get validated in minutes, seconds, if you're a narcissist. So that's why they're so rampant online. They're definitely rampant on online dating sites. So I just wanted to hop on here and say I ran into what I believe to be a real life narcissist on the dating site the other day. He showed his true colors within 24 hours. I think that's a record. Usually they take a lot longer to show themselves. He had to be pretty, if he doesn't have just narcissistic personality disorder, he had to be definitely dealing with some major traits, right? So what happened is this guy, popped in my inbox, and first thing he starts doing, he was younger than me. You put your age on there. It's no secret, I am not young anymore. It's no secret, I'm proud of it, right? I lived a long life, okay? And I'm a survivor. Anyway, he hopped in my inbox, 10 years younger than me, telling me how, he's looking for an older woman because we are, well established. We don't have drama. That's like one of the first things he said to me. And, he was interested in getting to know me or whatever. Okay, well, I'm cool with, staying around my age range within a certain reasonable amount. I don't want to date any kids, but 10 years is kind of pushing it. But, I've engaged in a little conversation with him. Why not? He had a few things going for himself. So we started engaging in conversation. Automatically he starts bragging about all his accomplishments, not really asking me anything about me, but bragging. I'm not your average. I'll refrain from using the word he used, but I'm not your average guy. A 38-year-old basically. I'm another federal police officer. This is like, I don't know what it is with federal police officers, but narcissists just love that job because the last federal police officer I dated was a narcissist. So that was red flag number one. I was like, if you're a federal police officer, that's just great. My wheels are starting to turn like, oh boy. Not saying all federal police officers are narcissists, because they are not. I know some great police officers, but great people. But they just tend to gravitate to those types of careers that give them a sense of power and control. I promise you they do. And this guy was one of them, right? But, he kept throwing that out there. He's a federal police officer. He has all these accomplishments. Then he starts throwing out there. I never asked him. We didn't even have a chance to even have any kind of a dialogue before he starts throwing out all his accomplishments. I'm definitely going to say he was an overt narcissist, the way he was waving his accomplishments around. So the next thing he did was tell me about all the rental properties he owns in one part of town where I live. Great. I'm really proud of you. I mean, wonderful. I personally don't care. Like, me personally, I'd rather have someone who's not a narcissist, that has a regular job, doesn't have to have any rental properties. Long as you are responsible, taking care of your business, that's fine with me. Like, I don't need that. Matter of fact, get me away from someone like that if you're a narcissist. But he was just like bragging about that. And I was like, oh, well, then I started thinking, I asked him, do you have a company set up? And the reason why, I wanted to make sure that I didn't have any professional ties to him based on my career. So I kind of started digging around in that. He was like, yeah, well, I have an LLC. And I, asked him who he worked with. And he was like, I only work with banks. Okay, well, because I don't work for a bank, but I work in the financial industry. And I'm like, okay, well, I just want to make sure you're not one of my clients. So he was like, so what if I was? This is how, like, within the first few hours. Well, that wouldn't be ideal if you were. I'm just making sure you're not. So just getting a feel, right? And then my thought in my mind, which I didn't bring up to him, but I was thinking, okay, so if you don't work with banks, does it make you less of a person? Does it make you a better person because you only work with banks? To me, that you're setting yourself above others. Like, to me, I don't think you're less of a person if you're not bankable, if you don't work with banks. So I did say to him, I said, well, everyone that's a business owner is not bankable, and that's okay. It doesn't make you better or worse. Some people have to start somewhere. So that was a narcissistic outlook, in my opinion. So another red flag. Then he again, he just kept drilling home how he's not average, he's above average, he has this job, he has benefits. Okay, well, I'm glad you have benefits. I mean, unless you plan on adding me to your insurance, this is not even the first 24 hours. Like, that's great. I'm really proud of you. How does that affect my life? It really does not. I don't even know you, but okay, great. Then, this is just crazy. Then he asked me to go to dinner. He was like, well, I would like to take you out to a nice dinner either Tuesday or Friday. And my response was, oh, well, what do you like to eat? I didn't say, sure, I'll go to dinner with you. I just said, what do you like to eat? Just conversation. I wasn't ready to commit to going to dinner yet. I just want to spark to keep the conversation, kind of see where his head's at, right? Clearly. And he was like, doesn't matter what I eat. I just want to, enjoy the company. Oh, that's a great response. But, I'm just sparking conversation, because that's kind of leads into what your favorite foods are. A little basic initial talk you have with a stranger, right? And so then I went and got myself some dinner because I was hungry and it was in the evening time. I came home and he was like, well, he brought it up again about going to dinner that night. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to dinner tonight because I just picked up my dinner. I'm hungry, And I never told him I was going to go to dinner that night. He was like, oh, so you're scared. You're scared. Okay, well, and he also asked me for my phone number. And I said, I don't give strangers my phone number. Like, I need to know that you're okay and you're safe to give my phone number to, because there's actually felons and murderers on these websites. I don't want to just hand out my phone number to anybody. I literally haven't even talked to you for 24 hours. He's like, and then so that's when he was like, oh, you're just scared and you must have drama. You must have drama. I thought older women don't have drama, but now I have drama because I don't want to give a stranger my phone number and I don't want to go to dinner with you on the first day of communicating. Then he said, you know what? You have issues. You have a lot of issues. I'm not going to beg no 50-year-old woman. I'm not 50, by the way, but that's what he said. He's not going to beg no 50-year-old woman to go anywhere with him, and that I must have drama. I must be hiding some drama because I said I was going to go to dinner and then I changed my mind. And I said, you know what? I said, you really got the wrong one today. I said, you need to scroll up and you need to sharpen your attention to detail skills, because I never once said I was going to go to dinner with you at all, let alone tonight. I just asked you what you like to eat. I said, so you made that assumption. I said, and I'm not 50. But if I was, so what? Are you going to throw that in my face? So now you're already starting the devaluation phase with me, and I've only known you for 24 seconds. He already went from idealization to devaluation like lightning speed. And then, I told him that this is just not, this is toxic. This is some toxic communication. I don't know him. He really needs to check himself and check his ego, and I don't appreciate this, and, have a nice life. So then he corresponds back to me that he apologizes. He was out of line. So he's already, coming back down off this bipolar. I was not even bipolar. That's more like a borderline outburst, because bipolars don't go up and down in one day. They spread it out. This was definitely narcissism. Because I hurt his ego. I hurt his ego. I don't care about his accomplishments. I don't know him. It's not going to make me rush to dinner with you any faster. If you can't put me on your benefits, don't tell me about them. So it doesn't matter. I have my own benefits because I'm a 50-year-old woman. So I'm good with benefits. So being that he really couldn't get me lusting after him, I guess, in the first few minutes, it really hurt his ego, and he struck out at me and tried to demean me and tried to tear me down. And then thought that coming back and apologizing me, so already establishing a trauma bond, push and pull, positive intermittent reinforcement. He's already establishing that. He's definitely got some abusive characteristics. And he wanted me to respond to his apology and probably say, oh, it's okay. We had misunderstanding. I can see the future of that relationship would have been hell-bound. See, these are the red flags that we need to see in the beginning. We need to notice and recognize in the beginning. This is a pattern you're going to set for yourself for the rest of your relationship. So I didn't even respond. I don't care about his apology. I don't know this guy. If I see him in public, I'm not going to speak to him. I'm good. So I didn't respond, and a few hours later, his ego was bruised once again, so he blocked me. That's why I don't have the actual text to read word for word. I'm just going off of memory. But I just wanted to bring that up because, as we are ready to date and navigating the waters of single life, it's really important to recognize these red flags and see the signs early of an abusive person. This person is abusive. He displayed all the signs of an abusive person within the first few hours of speaking to him. So I just wanted to put that out there. Once we get the awareness going and we start to recognize these things, we can prevent a lot of heartache and a lot of headache, and violence, quite frankly. from the beginning. So that's why I want to put that out there, just trying to spread some education and awareness. Everyone have a great weekend, and thanks for listening.